What's going on, guys and girls? How you doing today? It's Single Roleplay here once again. Today I want to do some kind of an afterthoughts of wrap-up video on my Delve League experience, because the league has already ended and Betrayal is about to start. I wanted to do some kind of an overview on the Delve League, on my experience, what have I accomplished, what were the bad, good and the ugly things about the Delve League in general. First of all, I was pretty hyped for the Delve League because when it was announced, it was about to introduce an absolutely new mechanic to the game we've never seen before, which is the infinite dungeon. And it looked a lot like the Great Rifts and Diablo 3, but this is a thing that really the game was lacking, because once you killed every boss in the game, once you clear every map in the game, it becomes really repetitive. You literally have nothing else to do, and the game terribly lacked this infinite kind of scaling progression, which was supposed to be the Delve League. When the league was launched, it was very cool from the very beginning, but then I noticed something terrible, which was the quarry farming. When people actually started farming quarries for sulfide, and they started progressing far deeper than I could, because I just didn't farm quarries. I was experimenting with the builds, and this is where my first flashlights starting to blink ahead of me, when I started thinking that the league was about to get ruined, because people started to exploit the mechanics of the league. It was somewhat fixed after a certain amount of time, couple of weeks, months. The quarry farming kind of stopped because it was not worth it, and sulfide farming transitioned into the maps. And then another thing happened, which was basically the infinite delving with the immortal builds. It started nearly instantly, but when people realized that you can run practically immortal with the Pathfinder, Flashfinder, Xerfi, Gluten of Elements and all other things, with Fist to Elemental conversion that's been there for quite a while, practically it was an immortal build running through all damage, only hit by some kind of a degen which could kill instantly. But people started fooling this characters. What happened basically is you join a group, several people just open maps and look for the sulfide, and the actual runner basically jumps into the map, gets a sulfide, full sulfide. And then after this full sulfide stack is full, the group gathers up, presses enormous amount of writhing jars, Val souls and all that shit, and goes on to the infinite delving. And basically they do not die, and die once in a while, but people started progressing with this kind of an exploit really quickly through the delve, and they reached the 1,000 really quick, 1,400, 3,000, which was literally what grinding games initially thought as the absolute maximum that people reach. But now grinding games kind of overlook thing that they have in the game, which different mechanics that allow you to exploit the fuck out of it. So 3,000 was breached, 4,000, 5,000, and the recent record was over 6,000, which was absolutely absurd. And all of this is practically because of the immortal builds and the legal exploit allowed by grinding games, and this ran the whole fucking league. And I personally absolutely didn't like it for a couple of reasons. First of all, exploits like this should not be allowed running the whole league, because it completely kills gameplay for other players who just do not want to run an immortal build to progress. They just want to play their own build. They want to compete in the fair field with the other builds, and the difference between the immortal build and your normal build is absolutely crazy, because with the normal build you will maybe get to 600 delve, 800 delve, 1000 delve, maybe more than 1,000 delve if you're very lucky. But you know, 6,000 delve is absolutely another story. And when you see this, you know, things popping on the left side of the screen, you get absolutely discouraged, because this is absolutely pointless for you to push any further, because there is no fair competition, because some people just decided to run and exploit the whole fucking league, and grinding games actually allows this exploit to run the whole fucking league, because like Chris Wilson said, when there is fun and where is something that is a little broken, they do not really nerf the fun mid-league. They just allow it to run the whole shit the entire league. This is what was with the arc traps, and they allowed arc traps to run the whole league, and it was pretty popular. But the difference between the arc traps and the immortal fucking belts is that, you know, our arc trap didn't really break anything. It was just doing, I don't know, good amount of damage, but it didn't make you immortal. It didn't make you overpowered of any kind. There were always more powerful builds like elemental hit. No one gives a shit about elemental hit because it was not really nerfed that much. A Blade Flurry always very powerful, and they just nerf Static in the bestiary, but still, you know, there are many powerful skills in the game that allow you to kill things really fast. But there were really no mechanics such as Delve before, and Delve actually kind of uncovered, unscratched these exploits, and showed grinding in games that there are exploits in the game and they need to be fixed. But instead they decided they're gonna let the exploits run through the whole fucking league, ruining fair competition for many players out there. And the very first iteration of the Delve, it was also possible to run solo, you know, Delve as the group Delve. So Delve with fair competition was pretty fucked in general. As the Delve itself, I think it's a very nice feature. It's very cool. It's really good, but not as the league mechanic, because as the league mechanic it became really repetitive. And there was another big problem with the Delve in general, and these are actually finding these hidden corridors. They were, once the Delve started, many people started unleashing the guides on how to break the fucking doors, how to find the hidden, you know, pathways and all the things. And this is really this really made a lot of confusion. Not only this, but the actual Delve bosses were incredibly hard to find, and you know, only after a certain amount of time I realized that I'm almost at the very end of the league that I should be actually exploring sideways and not just delving down. But the whole thing about the Delve itself is you're literally competing on the leaderboard and trying to delve down as much as possible to get better gear, to get your record on the leaderboard. So no one really told me and told us that you should be exploring sideways, guys. These people who actually decided they do not delve down and they decided to explore sideways, they actually found much more bosses than the guys who decided that just gonna go down, you know, just like in Double Free, just deeper, greater rift and all that shit. I personally didn't have no clue about this. I know that exploring sideways is okay, but I didn't think that it was actually crucial to finding the endgame bosses. And it was really a spectacular showcase when Matthew, who plays every day for 6 to 8 hours a day, he only found one boss called All on the third month of exploring the Delve, and he delved quite a lot. So he found one of the bosses on the fucking third month of playing every day. Imagine what most players, which are much more casual than he, found in the game. Possibly not at all. I managed to find one boss when I started exploring the Delve more on the sideways. I found Kurgal, the Black-Blooded. Unfortunately, the league ended when I was searching for Ahwatoli boss, which is in the higher Delves, and I I'm still yet to find the old boss. He is in 250 delves, and I have no absolutely idea when I will find this one too, because he's so incredibly rare, and exploring such deeper delves requires a lot of sulfite farming, which in solo is quite problematical. And this problem with the delve bosses also led to another problem, which was the achievements, and only about 15 characters did 40 achievements on the hardcore delve. And imagine this, 15 characters out of thousands only did 40 achievements. And 40 achievements means that you need to do a lot of things, but at the same time that requires boss farming, the extra league content and all that shit. So it basically shows how much of RNG and how much of inadequate RNG was implemented with the Delve League, how much was hidden behind the absolute crazy shit ass mechanics such as map generation, delve generation, and all of that. Basically, getting 40-40 in delve was probably the hardest thing ever in any league, as far as I heard, based on the response that I saw on Reddit. A lot of people lost all interest in the delve. Absolutely, they just lost all interest in farming achievements. Some people literally devoted their lives to farming these achievements, which I personally don't farm achievements. But all this made me thinking that delve was pretty fucked up in general. So like I said, delve started as a fun idea, but as a core, as a league mechanic, it was not very fun, honestly. But when it goes to the core, it will be really good. I think it adds a new layer of the game mechanics to the core game, which is incredibly good. This is what standard needed for many years. This is very nice, but at the same time, like I said, the delve really was kind of personally ruined for me, because I quickly decided I'm not gonna delve down and compete on leaderboards because of the whole sulfite farming and the immortal builds running and ruining the whole league experience for me. And the delve for me kind of died really quick. I really literally pushed myself on the second build, which was the Molten Strike, Hand of Wisdom and Action Ascendant build. I leveled 2 characters, 1 to 93, and which was the Toxic Rain Pathfinder build, super popular build. It has still a lot of comments. There's like 80 plus pages of comments, and I still keep replying to them. The second build was the Molten Strike, Ascendant, Hand of Wisdom and Action build. I didn't really expect it to level up as high as I did. It almost was a finished build. I almost did everything. I almost killed Uber Elder 2, but the league kind of ended, so I will be doing this on the standard league. But so far, these are my thoughts on the Delve League, guys. Let me know in the comment section what were your achievements in the Delve League. What did you accomplish? What are your thoughts on the Delve? And good luck to you in the Betrayal League too. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for watching the video. Your likes and dislikes, especially, as they push me forward even more. If you want to see more content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do daily uploads of role-playing content, being it builds, guides, let's play, stream highlights, and upcoming RPG games. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitch stream to catch me live in action. I do stream daily on working days. I'm a full-time YouTube content creator and a Twitch streamer too, so if you want to support me, you can do it either from Twitch or by PayPal directly from my website angryroleplayer.com. Join my Discord channel too for a place to discuss RPG things offline, as well as follow my Twitter to be notified on any new content. If you want to get extra information like sneak peeks into upcoming videos, plans, different behind-the-scenes footage, you can also join the Unholy Army on Patreon as well, guys. Thank you very much once again for watching, listening to all this. See you soon.